For today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the movie Reefer Madness. Basically, what started out as a education film turned into an exploitation movie during the early 30s. Since then, it has gained a huge cult following and is considered one of the worst films ever made. It also spawned a 2005 musical. Don't worry, I'll get to that one eventually. But first, let's see how bad this movie really is. So the plot of Reefer Madness is basically about this dude who's telling parents about the scourge of marijuana. And he's actually telling a story about an event that actually happened within that city. The story itself is about these two kids who basically get exposed to marijuana to go to this apartment, and one thing leads to another, and yada yada, and not all goes well. That's pretty much the whole plot of the movie right there. Now, in terms of what I like how honest the movie is with itself. Because at the beginning of the movie, there's like this title crawl that pretty much says, oh, we never did research on marijuana, and pretty much this whole thing's an over-exaggeration. I also like how the drug dealers have class, because instead of these guys looking like your typical drug dealers, these guys look like gangsters. Pretty much my dislikes for the film, as I said earlier, they didn't do any of the research, and they pretty much said that marijuana is worse than heroin. Sorry, what? I think they were smoking marijuana when they were making this. For example, the supposed side effects for smoking marijuana are you cause a hit and run, manslaughter, suicide, attempted rape, and a descent into madness. The acting was pretty bad in this movie, and even though the movie was like an hour long, it felt like it was like a 3-hour movie, man. It just took too long to finish. When it comes to these movie reviews, I usually talk about the important characters, but none of these characters were really interesting. I mean, they were really boring if anything else. Like our main protagonist. Basically, he's the type of character that all young men should aspire to be, or at least in the context of this movie, but he's not really that interesting until he gets exposed to the reefer, that is, but that's another story. And as for the drug dealers, if the only defining quality of the drug dealers is that they dress up as gangsters, there ain't much going for you. Like, if that's the only thing I remember you by, there's just something wrong here. So for my final verdict, basically, the movie is honest with itself in terms of research because it didn't do any research, and led to its downside because some of the facts in the movie are really out of whack. I mean, seriously, reefer is worse than heroin? So what you're telling me is the next time I go to some party and some guy offers me a joint, I should say, no, I'm gonna chase the purple dragon instead? And none of the following characters were memorable. Like, you got the main character who's basically the all-aspiring, what the young man should be. Then you got the drug dealers. And if the only thing I remember about you is that you dress up as a gangster, that's not very good character development at all. So before I give my final rating, what does everyone else have to say about Reefer Madness? So the movie got generally negative reviews. I'm not surprised since it's considered probably one of the worst movies ever made, next to Plan 9 from Outer Space. So for my final rating, I give Reefer Madness a 1 out of 5. Alright, so what would you rather do? Smoke reefer? Or take some heroin and chase that purple dragon? And see you later.